Bill Davis.
Is this my 2-hour speech?
Yeah, this is your 2-hour speech. Long live Bill.
Finally, we get the correct analysis.
Sing a song.
No. We only drink more. We've been involved in a lot of activities, some of them questionable, some of them quirky, and some very big, important campaigns. Some of the more quirky ones was aborted a takeover of a radio station in rural Texas, the naval blockade of the governor's mansion by the Madison chapter, any number of strange things that endangered the lives of ourselves and lots of innocent animals. But there have been activities that were landmark activities, actions that we took to call attention to the problems of veterans, to call attention to the fact that the war was still going on, and other wars. Most notable was the 2 takeovers of the Statue of Liberty. The first one protests the Christmas bombings of Hanoi and Haiphong Harbor, and which Barry happened to be there at the time. The second takeover of the Statue of Liberty. I don't know if there's any other people here today who are actually in the Statue of Liberty with us. One of the guys, Bill Shunas, his book's back there. Dave Klein had overall tactical leadership of the whole thing. He did a wonderful job of coordinating the whole thing and sticking us in strange parks in New York City until we were waiting to be assembled. Walter Clem and I sat in a park, and it was different. Brian Matteries is here. He was with the New York chapter. He did a lot of work around that, in between taking bets at the off-track betting place, and he saw to our creature comforts afterwards. He recognized we were starving because we'd eaten everything that park rangers had left there, and which the New York chapter later took back and replaced everything. One of the more inspiring people in the whole thing. I was a single national office representative, so I was immediately pushed to the side by some of the more criminally intent members of the organization who were quite clever. Walter Clem was just outstanding. He had boundless and ceaseless energy, and every time I'd start whining about being tired or hungry, he'd kick me in the ass and make me haul more cartons of books up to the top of the Statue of Liberty, where we barricaded ourselves at the top. We still hold the record, by the way, of 18 hours occupation. Not to demean the reason we took over the Statue of Liberty was to call attention to a huge number, 3 million, 4 million veterans between the Korean War and the Vietnam War, who had all their benefits summarily just canceled. I didn't even send them a letter about it, and they were all restored, and it was a good thing. It was a good thing. I'm sure they screwed them again since then, taking them back little by little, but that's what they do. The old, they give them out with an eyedropper and take them back with a steam shovel routine. Another particular event that I was pleased to be part of, among others, was the VVAW delegation to Nicaragua in 1986 when the war was in full swing. And Billy Cremano was one of the people that accompanied us. I don't know if there's anyone else here who was on that trip. Oh, John. Yeah. John got in trouble. I almost forgot about it. They'd all point at me in the discos and tell them, stay away from that guy, that's El Jefe. Which was fine with me. I was just making sure they all got to bed on time. Billy particularly drove Bill Branson, who was my chief of security on the trip, crazy. I'd always hoped that Bill would have a whole busload of people like Billy sometime, and I'd like to watch. But there were so many of these things. We traveled throughout Nicaragua. Bob, what was Bob's Virgin's husband?
No, Bob's fine.
Bob Spiker. Bob was a recovering alcoholic who unfortunately fell in love with the Nicaraguan rum. Yes. And jumped up in a meeting with the Sandinistas and demanded they take us all to the front immediately. We managed to restrain him. We had a number of confrontations with anti-Sandinista people. We met lots of wonderful people from all the organizations and the communities, the women's groups, and the armed forces. We took with us, we were welcomed everywhere in the country. We had a huge supply of prophylactics that we bought by bundles to take and pass out to the members of the armed forces, which made them very happy. They finally had some recreation and stuff. The newspapers, the national newspapers all carried our every moment of everywhere we went. We saw the helicopter, the Alabama Air National Guard helicopter that was shot down in Nicaragua, among other things. We spoke to crowds of people, got to see all their weapons, had confrontations with the Archbishop Obanio's security people at a little deserted restaurant up on top of some mountain, which was quite an experience. But overall, we did some very good work while we were there. Everyone was a reporter, everyone was a photographer, everyone got sound bites. Mike Terry from Chicago ran the video camera, recorded most of the events, and his friend was from California was the sound man. And we still have many hours of unedited tapes. We managed to produce, with limited funds, a short about the trip that had a lot of impact, and which led me to almost destroying some chairs at the Unity Temple that Frank Lloyd Wright built when I was giving a speech, and got all excited and realized that I was sitting on this chair that was worth more than everything I had. So I got up and finished the speech on my feet because the thing was starting to creak. Like, I've destroyed a few chairs in that time. We were part of a delegation on the 30th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We met with the survivors. We spoke to crowds of 40, 50, 60, 70,000. They'd take us to a beach, and we thought it'd be like we were going to some festival, and they were just waiting for us to arrive. It was astonishing to be on a peace march with 500,000 people, stretching clear across prefectures, the states as they call them, and meeting incredible numbers of people. And because we had an international organization of active duty GIs at the time, it gave us an opportunity to meet all of them at all the different projects in Japan. And some of the guys came from the Philippines and Okinawa and other places just to meet us, and generally got in trouble because when we'd have a demonstration outside of the base, they'd have one on the base, and I was trying to tell them, just take it easy, you don't have to do this, that's what we're out here for. But they wanted to be part of it, and they were. And these and many other sort of things at VVAW, the many trips, international trips we've done, the delegations we met with, they were some pretty amazing things, and it gave the organization a wonderful name abroad, and it's still out there. And there were a lot of friends and comrades who fell off the trail. I'd like to speak particularly to a couple of founding members of the Kent State chapter, my friends Michael Carmody and some of the other, Alan, who died just a couple years ago under mysterious circumstances after he come into some money. They were some great people, and they were comrades and friends, and we miss them dearly. And last but not least, longtime VVAW supporter in his 18 years of life, my son Joshua Donovan Davis, who passed away last October in Bellingham, Washington. And thank you very much.